That's it.
Attorney Holly Shamsuddin, heard every Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. exclusively on 971 FM WWR. This program shall focus on facts that we share with each other on this platform dedicated to inform, educate, and organize our communities in Jackson and abroad. No personal comments or opinions are regarded as being irrelevant, as your comments and participation could prove to be the cornerstone of our goal, being to restore moral ethics, integrity, respect, and progress, and efforts to reach for a better future in all aspects of the everyday lives of our family and our children. We now join the host, Ali Shamsuddin, and guests, bringing to you Standing for the People, where together we can, heard exclusively on the Voice of Unity, 9.1 FM, WMPR. Good evening. Good evening. It's 7 p.m. Wednesday. That means this is Standing for the People, and I'm Ali Shamsuddin. As I always say, this program is brought to you by the people. What I mean by that, I mean people who just got together and said, Shamsuddin, we want you back on the air. You used to be on the air with Mr. Tisdale on Fridays, views from the black side. Now, Mr. Tisdale has gone to his reward, and here I am again. And as I say, this is a call-in show. We bring you the facts. It's not a gossip show. We don't get into gossip. We don't deal with that. That's not important. But what we want to do is bring facts to you that we can use. You know, we have this stigma on us that you let black people get in charge of something and it goes bad automatically. It goes bad. But we're going to break that. We're going to break that. I have confidence in us. I always say, you know, we're not stupid and we're not dumb. We've been ignorant, but there's a cure for ignorance, and that is getting the right and the proper information. That's what we have to be about. You know, we've been trying to operate with hit and miss and guessing and whatever, but we want to try to find the right way to get things done. Because as you look around you here in Jackson and in Hinds County, it's vitally necessary. You know, ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. You can look at the development of the areas around us and you wonder why, you know, we haven't been able to develop like the rest of the areas around us. And just sad to say, we've been complacent. That's what my friend Randy Wildman says. We've been complacent. What do you mean by that is we put people in office and we don't monitor them, we don't watch them, we don't see if they do what they promise they're going to do. And then a lot of times we don't even know the person we're voting for in the first place. We go in there and I think sometimes just close our eyes and make some marks and hope for the best. You know, and we've been we got so happy, you know, when we started putting African Americans or black folks in office that we thought everything was just going to be all right. But even at that, you have to put the right people in office. And there's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You know, it don't matter about the color of the person's skin. It's just what's in their mind and what's in their heart, and if they have a plan. And obviously, the people that we've been putting in office, from what we can see, didn't have a plan. If they did, they didn't try to implement it. So, well, we got the elections coming up. We've been talking about registering to vote. We hope most of you have registered to vote out there. And we want to begin to vote. It's very important. People fought, bled, died, went to jail, lost jobs. I mean, they paid the cost. They paid the cost for us to implement that privilege, that right. Let me put it right. That's a right. It's not just a privilege. It's a right that every American, if you're born American, you've been naturalized an American, you have that right to vote. Now, they've used every kind of method over the years, poll tax, can you take this exam and pass this exam, and whatever they could use to keep us, deter us from voting. But now we have passed that hurdle. We can vote, and we do need to be able to vote. We do need to go out and vote. There's so many issues here in Jackson. There's so many issues here in Hinds County that we have to face, that we are confronted with, and if if we don't put the right people in these offices around us that make decisions for us, then we're going to get more of what we've been getting. That's just a fact. And we can't afford it anymore. That's plenty of issues that we got going on here tonight. And my friend David Archer just walked in. We're going to talk about that water bill situation because I want people to understand they had the meeting last night. It was well attended. People came out, they brought their water bills. As a matter of fact, for those of you who can make it by here this evening, you can drop the water bill off here if you like, or you can drop it off at my office at 1010 Northwest Street. But people were showing water bills. One lady, I nearly fainted. David, the lady's water bill was $52,000 in a residential. Can you imagine that?
Absolutely.
That automatically tells you something is wrong with the process. People with $17,000 water bills in a residential home. Something's wrong with the process. So ain't no ifs, ands about that. Something's wrong with the process. And then they want to say, well, we want to come up with this strategy where you come and you make an agreement to pay over time. You can pay over time. But there's a legal term that any judge is aware of, and any judge knows that they don't help people in this situation. And what I mean by this is called unjust enrichment. It's a legal term. It's called unjust enrichment. What it means the court is not going to help somebody get something for free. That's basically what that means. You go to court and you say, so-and-so owe me $100,000. You got to prove that person owes you $100,000. You just can't come in there and say they owe me $100,000 and get it. That's the same situation we got with these water bills. They claiming people owe $7,000. They claiming people owe $17,000. You want to know, how did they come to that? How did they come to that conclusion? That a person would owe $52,000 in a residential home. But again, this is all part of this process that we have to get aware of. David, I want you to tell us again how the meeting went and what you're intending to do with that.
Thank you, Judge, for having me tonight, and good evening to also the other guest that is present tonight. Got a family here tonight. Yeah. Well, Judge, not only just kind of piggyback off what you just said. When I think about it, I see that the citizens did not create this problem for themselves.
Absolutely not.
Government played a major role. Citizens didn't put any pipes down. Citizens didn't tear up any pipes that belongs to the city. Citizens only paid bills that the government sent to them, which is the city of Jackson, to tell them whether they're late, they're behind, or whether they're on time, or just have not been paying a bill, or are paying a bill and we just didn't charge you enough.
And even with that, let me just throw this in here. I've had postal workers, mail carriers, to tell me that they are delivering water bills to abandoned homes that are obviously abandoned, burned up homes. How would a home like that get a water bill?
Amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing. That obviously something is wrong with the system.
And to go a little further, and Judge, you sitting here, you've been around it long. Now, we live on a democracy. When this democracy in America was created, and I think we talked a little bit about it last night, it was created because America, which is known as America now, was under the control of Europe and the colonies.
Right.
And we decided to say, well, not me, because our ancestor perhaps was slaves during that time, but the white folks in America said to Europe and said, while they was under the colonies, look, we want a voice at the table. We being taxed and taxation without representation, meaning that they was paying the colonies and paying Europe their money from this country that now that we call America, but they didn't feel like they had a voice or any representation at the table.
Right.
And so we was able to reach our freedom and our independence in 1776. And when America was created, it was created up on a democracy, meaning that government has control over any and everything that exists in America.
Right.
Now, people may not want to say, well, how can they be in control of my money? Well, they're in control of your money because if there comes a problem and you got $1 million in the bank, government can come in and freeze your assets overnight express until you prove to them that you did not do what they say or accusing you of doing. We see it done every day in America.
Right.
And so that is what I mean by the democracy. And I brought that up to say this. You remember when Barack Obama came in and the banks and the automobile dealerships, the automobile industry, Ford and others needed a bailout.
Mm-hmm.
It is because they was losing millions and millions of dollars and was about to go under. That is what we saying here in Jackson, Mississippi. The citizens about to go under because they cannot pay a $10, $15, $20, $30,000 water bill.
So what exactly are you? We're collecting water bills. What are you intending to do with these water bills?
Well, what we're going to do is, so on last night we kind of began to make record, and we was accepting testimonies of people coming in telling their story about what has taken place, because the public really don't know. Most people just concerned about their own particular household. So now we gathering together as a group, we bringing those people together, they're testifying to what has taken place, what has happened, bringing their water bills forward. And the only person and the only one that is in position, that is in government in the state of Mississippi, that can forgive water bills is the governor of the state. And we intend on going to see the governor to either talk to him about a full forgiveness, meaning that the 100% of the water bill need to be forgiven if it's 20, 25, 30,000, or a really great high percentage of that water bill, 75 to 80% of that water bill need to be forgiven.
And I don't think they ever gonna have the means to accurately determine how much a person owes. That's for one. And when you say forgive, perhaps that you need to start from scratch and put a system in place that can accurately calculate how much water a person used.
Well, that's what the $800 million or the $600 million supposed to have been used for, to rebuild the OB Curtis water treatment facility, as well as repair and fix the infrastructure, and to locate all of these bad meters that was installed.
All of them.
In which, if that wasn't bad meters installed, then why did Siemens agree to give back $90 million? They agreed to give back the $90 million, but there has not been an agreement that goes back to the citizens, to the taxpayer, and those people that are paying water bills in the city of Jackson. That end of the deal was never worked out. The only end of the deal was worked out was to get the infrastructure put in and to fix whatever they tear up in the water treatment facility. And the payment, now they creating some type of payment, but our payment, is my understanding, is going over to Rankin County to some facility over in Rankin County. Jackson bills.
That's what a lot of people are very upset about. But we're talking about, and I'm going to segue a little bit here. When we start talking about state government now, I have Ms. Mumford sitting here next to me. Would you tell the people, give them some of your background first, and then we'll get into some of these questions and whatnot.
I'm Kamisha Mumford. I'm a candidate for Senate District 26. That's the Senate seat that was vacated by John Horn when he became mayor of the city of Jackson. I've been an attorney now for 18 years. I've been a city court judge for the last 12 years, and then I own and operate a title company, Mumford Title. We do residential, commercial real estate closings all over the state. In my litigation part of my practice, I've been an heirs property attorney, mostly helping Black families leverage their family land by getting good title to it and then being able to leverage it to build generational wealth. Most of us have some amount of heirs property in our family, something that's in a deceased family members' names that we just have not been able to straighten out, is now owned by co-tenants, other family members. Our state legislature enacted the Uniform Partition Act in 2020, which made it a little bit easier to sort through those issues. We did not enact the entirety of that act. And so there are some ways where we can make the process easier for families. I've also, estate planning is a large part of my practice too, because those things kind of go hand in hand. And so I've done a lot of seminars in our churches and for civic groups over the course of my legal careers, just so we can avoid having those issues in our community as much as possible through some simple wills being drafted. I have been a good community steward, I'd like to say, since law school here, working in the community, not just in my law practice, but being an active community member and helping out where I can. My husband and I are law partners. My husband is Gerald Mumford. He's also the Hinds County prosecuting attorney.
When he was over there with Judge Wingate, he was a law clerk.
Yes, sir.
That was some time ago. But
Yes,
that's how long
sir.
I've known it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you're a Jackson resident, right? How long have you been here?
Well, I have been, funny things, I've lived all over Senate District 26 since we were married. We live more in the rural part of Hinds County now. Gerald went to Callaway High School. He grew up in Jackson, near, in the heart of Senate District 26. And then we lived for about 8 years in the North Jackson area. And now we wanted to have a country life. And so now we live more rural, kind of in the northern part of Hinds County in District 26.
The one thing I say quite often on the program here is that too often, I say, we get people running for seats, whatever it is, and a lot of times they don't even know the responsibilities of the office that they're running for. Can you express what some of the responsibilities of that Senate seat would be?
Yeah, well, we're there too. And I've been billing myself as the quality of life candidate. There are so many ways that I've seen as an attorney and as a judge that new laws, a change in the law will make the lives of so many of our community members better. And so as a lawmaker, that's my focus when I go to the Capitol, is to figure out how, from a legislative standpoint, we can improve the lives of community members. Now, as I've been canvassing neighborhoods, running for this position, public safety has been a big concern for most people. But the second thing that they ask me about is infrastructure, roads, bridges, and drainage issues. And I understand that those things take money that we need to get in our community to improve our infrastructure problems. We have some fairly old infrastructure needs. And they need to be repaired. I see that as a way to build some economic development, but we also have to get to the point where we modernize that system. I've done right-of-way work for several years for different counties, basically helping them get the right to go onto a property owner's land to take care of infrastructure needs is mainly what I've done. So I've seen that firsthand. And then my mother, for the last about 30 years, has worked at the Madison County Road Department. She's personnel director. So I've been hearing about pavement and roads for a long time, most of my life. I probably have more understanding about the cost and what it takes to do that just by virtue of her position. And I've said from time and time again, I'm not running for this office because I want a job or a title. It really is about service and going to the Capitol with the community in mind, not any special interest, not any political machine, just the people of Senate District 26 who I love, who have supported me for all these years and who now I want to show my gratitude to my community by being there and offering myself for service and having the heart of the community in mind with every decision that I make.
Well, I obviously have some questions for you, but we're going to take a call here and see what this caller has to say. Go ahead, caller, you're on air.
Thank you so much, Jared.
My pastor, how you doing, Reverend Jackson? How you doing?
Man, listen, I'm doing fine.
Good.
You put tears in my eye when you start talking like Brother Tisdale.
I have to do that.
Listen, man, he was a true soldier.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I like that commercial that you got going. I was told I want the folks to know, if they want to shut up a good lawyer, get their money, I double dog damn to call you.
Thank you, Reverend Jackson. Thank you, brother. You know, you and I go way back, man. I always appreciate you.
Listen, I compare you with Ross Barnett Jr. and they in the courtroom when you walk in there, the folks go to shaking.
Well, look here. I got Miss Mumford here. If you can hear, did you have a question you want to ask her?
Yeah. No, I want to say this concerning about the water bill. Then I get to this beautiful young lady, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, bro.
If she was my wife, I wouldn't let her run the way she be talking you can on. She's so pretty.
Thank
My-
You know, Judge, I thank God for David. And David, I want you to keep the good work up. Don't stop.
Thank you, Reverend
You're
Jackson.
helping people there.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
a lot of blacks that get in office, they forget about from which they come. And I was mistreated on the radio the other day by a certain show. I ain't gonna call no name. Those of you that heard it, I want certain notice on that individual. You reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You know, you have to be careful hanging a phone up on folks. See, I don't work for you. You work for me. We the one put you in office.
There you go, Rick.
And I don't believe Miss Martha would be that kind of person. I've been listening to her. And Lord knows there are two beautiful people are running. And God knows I'm up in the air. I'm leaning so towards her. I'm about to go vote right now.
you got him, Reverend. She got you
Well,
moving.
hopefully tonight she can, for you and all the others out there, you can get to know her a little better
Yeah.
tonight. And
I want to say, David, if the governor can do 85%, and he the governor, he ought to just do like Trump, do it all.
Yes, sir. That's the goal, Reverend.
He can do it all.
And Reverend, we
If
want
he
to
can't
thank
do it
you.
all, David, I got enough money to send you to Washington now.
Yes, sir. Reverend, we want to
Look.
thank you, Judge. We want to thank Reverend. Reverend provided all the soda pops and all the water that was dished out last night for all of the people. And there was a lot of people drinking water and soda pop last
just
night.
like him. Rev, I got my other cousin on the other line, man. You can call us back.
All right, then, that must be old Clinton PJ.
That's him. That's him. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Rev.
Yeah, all right, and thank y'all for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Lay with it, David.
Yes,
We're
sir.
praying for you, Miss Margaret.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's see if we can get it. Go ahead, Carly, on there. Let's see. He's on one. Okay, we'll get to him. Go ahead, Rev.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you for taking my call. I want to say good evening to Ms. Martha. And again, tell her don't worry about it. She got it covered. I'm getting calls that every time she put a sign up, they stealing the sign. So that means they on the run when they start stealing your sign. And the sign ain't going to vote for you. So don't worry about that. We already done claimed that you out here working, doing a great job, and we want you to continue to do that. But we always said now, you got the opponent running. I don't know her, but I know her husband. And we done had many beating all over Jackson. And I missed one with David last night. I had to go to a doctor. But they don't show up for nothing that we have. And they supposed to be out here fighting for us. So now I don't know about that, and I'll call a spade a spade. Now y'all
Put it like it
y'all
is,
like what
Rev.
you got done that in. Then that's what you do. But you don't, then you go with Ms. Martha, who are already working hard to do these things to help people. You're talking about getting people land back right away. Already working. So let's go on December 7th.
Thank you.
Go
Thank
call
you,
everybody that we call all around Bowling. So don't worry about they already called for Bowling. Around Evans and around Brown, up in that area. So don't worry about it, Reverend. We got you covered down here. So they going back to the poll and vote for you. And again, we going to thank you again. And David, we had to get back in time to be with you on last night for the meeting, but just keep on fighting because somebody got to fight for these water bills and get these water bills straight up.
Man, I have to say they had a packed house last night. Yeah, I gotta go to another call, Rel. Thanks for
All right,
calling.
we're gone.
All right. Go ahead, caller. I think this your husband.
Hey, everybody.
How you
Good
doing,
evening.
brother?
I'm doing pretty good. This is Gerald Mumford. I just wanted to call in and say hello and join the show. And I know Kamisha has to leave. You know, we got Thanksgiving tomorrow, and you know, the pot's still cold at the house. So look, you let Kamisha go now.
I won't keep her. I won't keep her too long, brother. I won't keep her too long. But she's doing a good job. She's doing a good job.
Man, we hearing a lot of good.
Uh,
We hearing a lot of good things and pretty things.
Calling and coming on my beautiful wife. She is truly the apple of my eye. But I wanted everybody to know that I fully support Kamisha Mumford. She represents the best of what Mississippi and Senate District 26 has to offer. I want to encourage everybody to vote for Kamisha Mumford based upon her qualifications, based upon her intellect, her caring, her heart for the community, her resume, and what she's saying. I want everybody to really, really listen to these candidates. And if you do, and if you're open-minded, and if you pray and be steadfast, then Kamisha Mumford will be your only choice. She's been my only choice for 18 years. She's been a great mother, great wife, great lawyer, great judge, great, did I say mother? All of that. And so I just can't, think of a better person to earn your vote than Kamisha Mumford. I just want to say I love you. And again, Judge, look, get out of that commission. I need you to come home now. All right.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling.
All right, man, that is so nice to
That
hear
is, man. You got
from a
support there,
husband
man.
away. And but man, you can stick some of that bread in the oven too, man. She's on her way.
Go ahead, caller. You're on there.
Yeah.
Good evening, Judge. How are you?
I'm good.
This is Ken Wood from Mr. Archer. How you doing?
Hey, Mr. Wilson, how are you, sir?
And if they get it better, be having or
Look at me.
Oh, sounds good.
I'm all right. Judge Mumford, how are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Judge Shempstein and Mr. Archer, I got an opportunity to read that article last night. You all are doing phenomenal work in bringing to the light what's going on with the water bill. Y'all have been saying this for quite some time about what's going on. Those inefficiencies and those issues that are plaguing the less fortunate in our community. Over there on Hollywood Avenue, you got families over there, where I'm from in Georgetown, that are still dealing with those high water bills. And as I've always told them, as Reverend Williams say, don't pay them. We need to figure out how we can correct those issues. But that is an ongoing problem
It is.
that we shouldn't have to deal with.
Yeah, it is. Well, I appreciate you calling in, brother. Thank you
Well,
so
listen,
much.
before I get off, I want to say this real quick. I want to thank Judge Mumford. I am supporting her. I think she's a very qualified candidate. And thank you for those sweet potatoes you all gave out the other day at our neighborhood association. Those people are looking forward to cooking up tomorrow. So we will be supporting you on December 2nd, and God continues to cover you. And as always, 833 for life.
833. Always. Thank you, brother.
All right.
Look, I know you had a lot of experience in different areas of the law, but what do you think make you that person, that is uniquely qualified for the Senate position?
Not just my experience as an attorney or even a judge or a business owner. When I look at the course of my life, everything from writing the first code of ordinances for the board of supervisors. I am convinced now that all of my steps were ordered for just this moment. And with all of the professional accolades that I have, more than anything, my commitment to this community is the thing that makes me the most qualified. I show up for the community, and I was showing up before I needed any votes.
I remember Henry Kirksey, who was the first African American to sit in that Senate seat over there. But he told me, he said it was the most frustrating job he ever had. And you know, he just felt that he just couldn't get heard. It's gonna take someone that really can stand up and make their voice heard. And I know people don't generally associate that with femininity, but you know, we talking professionalism now.
Mhm.
So
And I've been an advocate for 18 years. I've been in every chancery court in the state, from North Mississippi to the coast. I've appeared before judges that look like me, judges that don't. I've had to deal with not just my clients in those courtrooms. I'm dealing with land and families, and so being able to find resolutions sometimes in difficult situations, sometimes having judges that were not necessarily friendly to my side, but I was always able to get the desired results for my client because I knew, number one, I would recognize where I was and who else was in that space, and try to find ways to find common ground to get things done, especially when I couldn't depend on the judge to make those things happen for us. I just have such a unique set of experiences. I talked earlier today about me going to a high school, Canton High School, which was about 99.9% African American, and then going to college at Mississippi State. I was in the University Honors Program. At the time I was there were 2 African American students in my program, me and one other person.
right.
I had to learn how to work well with others to get the job done most of the time. I'm going in with a mind that I have to be a collaborative leader, a leader that listens, a leader that finds a way to find common ground so that I can get results. But I'm never going to be one to sell out for my community because I can't forget who sent me there. But there are so many ways that we can find issues that affect all of us, like blight. I already have a blight bill in mind. I've been fighting blight already on the legal side for many years. As I've been canvassing, I've gone into neighborhoods where there is a beautiful house here, and right next door, there's a house that's overgrown because it has fallen into the hands of some heirs that have no connection to it. There's a way that we can clean that up all over the city, help some of our citizens who'd like to become homeowners, or even get those properties in the hands of those neighborhood members who want to see that property be cleaned up but can't get good title to it. Those are not black or white or red or blue issues. Those are people issues. And when you start there with finding common ground, you can really get some things done for the benefit of everyone. And then you can bring home something extra for the folks in Senate District 26.
So what particular issue, if there is one that really catches your interest most of all?
The one that's being talked about the most right now is education. There's all this talk about private dollars public dollars to private schools. I've said time and time again, I would never support that. I think we pay our teachers a competitive pay.
Right.
We truly equally and equitably fund our public school system, meaning every school gets what they need, even if those needs look differently. We find ways to offer down payment assistance for housing for teachers who agree to live in the district where they work. We offer some scholarships, grants to our teachers when they are graduating from college to keep them here in our state. Those are the ways that we look to strengthen our education system. We don't make it better by taking money out and sending it to our private schools. I also don't think that the public to public transfer is a good idea either, because you are still weakening one school district for another.
Right.
And so we need to find ways where if we equitably fund our school districts, we don't have that need for parents to move from one public school to the next, because every public school is getting what it needs.
You know, people often ask, can you work with, of course, the white constituents over there, but how about the black ones? Do they know you? Do you know any of them? Or do you think that you could work with them?
You know, being an attorney, I have had to learn how to work with folks who I don't necessarily always agree with. The reason I have such a robust practice is because I can find a way to find common ground. And so I've always been able to work well with others, even folks that I don't, necessarily agree with, or maybe not even like their personalities. As a real estate lawyer, we focus on results. I am just a result-oriented person. I'm looking to how do I get the desired result for the folks who need me? And that's kind of the mindset. I don't take things personally. I'm not thin-skinned. I can handle my own, which I think has been the surprise for most people for Kamisha as the candidate. Everybody knew Gerald You really hadn't seen me in action unless you were in a courtroom with me.
Right.
And I tell you, you know, when I'm there, I'm a strong advocate. I'm not afraid to speak up for what's right. And on the bench, I've done the same thing for the last 12 years as judge.
Mhm.
And that next point is public safety. That's the thing that I hear most from constituents when I'm out campaigning is the concern for really strong public safety in our community. And my 12 years on the bench has given me just a different perspective of what that really means. It's not responding to crime. It's so many other things that go into that. We need a mental health court in this state.
Mhm.
Every week I have defendants who are in a mental health crisis, you know, but they've also been charged with a crime. We've got to figure out a way to take care of those folks.
Absolutely.
And I think establishing a mental health court solves so many problems. We have family members who are aware that they need help for their loved one. They can't afford it. They can't get them committed through Chancery Court. There's not a bed at the state hospital. Mental health courts solve many problems for public safety and just in general for our community. And so that's also a strong focus of mine, just because I see it every week. And it really is sad that there are so many in our community that need help and can't get it.
And a couple of weeks ago, or 2 weeks in a row, actually, I was talking about the conference that they were having at the Capitol, and it was concerning infant mortality in Mississippi. And of course, African Americans, we are most prevalent. I think it's 17 out of every 1,000 births don't make it to their first year. And not even talking about mothers dying, giving birth. Have you heard much about that, or do you have any idea of what's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's near and dear to my heart. You know, 10 years ago, my daughter Savannah Ann Mumford was stillborn. And so I understand what that looks like.
Right.
What we need is greater access to health care. Those folks that live in rural areas sometimes don't have a chance to even get to a hospital in time when they have an emergency. Oftentimes they're not receiving proper care, proper education. We've got to change that by making sure that we have access to quality health care. I think the focus on our community health centers is really important, especially when things are so uncertain with Medicaid right now. If we can make sure that we are taking care of our community health centers, that we are providing those same kind of incentives for doctors to come here and work in our state and work in those areas where we have shortages of clinics and healthcare professionals, where we make sure we have broadband in our rural areas so that our citizens can take advantage of telehealth when they need it. But we are in a crisis, especially when it comes to infant mortality. And I think we can change that by providing greater access to health care, by offering incentives also to medical professionals to live and work in those areas where we have those shortages.
Now, I from my last information, I don't think state legislators get paid that much job. So I would imagine you going over there for the pay.
No, I'm not going over for the pay. I really ran for this office because I saw a need in our community. And I know that the Lord has blessed me with a unique set of skills and talents to meet that need and to be a good representative for those people that live in Senate District 26 and really for our entire state.
So I heard you mention service of the people. That seems to get lost in the wash again when people get in the office that they say they're seeking. You know, is that something that you really feel committed to?
Oh yeah, you know, this community is my home. You know, I have such a great love, devotion, commitment to Senate District 26. I want to make sure that I have the proper transparency, accountability for the citizens in this district. And I'm still going to be visible. I won't get elected and then disappear and you don't see me out. You can't get access to me. I'm going to continue my radio show here on 90.1 on Thursdays. We'll have newsletters that go out to keep folks informed. We'll have regular forums so that they can come out and speak about things that are concerning to them. And then I'm going to keep them abreast of what's actually happening at the Capitol. And not only sending it out to give them information, but to also receive feedback from them. I'm going in this with the mind to represent the people. And that means I have to stay in touch, in tune with those same folks I'm representing to make sure that they understand what's happening and that I am the voice for them.
Again, this is a call-in show. You can call and ask Ms. Mumford any questions you may have. as I've always said, and I continue to say, one of the ways that we're going to get better people in these offices is to get to know them in the first place.
Yeah.
And then try to find out what have they been doing before they ran for these particular offices. That's very important.
Oh, it is.
And that's the nature of the question I just asked in terms of there are a lot of people who run for these offices that really don't even know the responsibilities of the office. So I imagine you've done your homework on that aspect of it.
Oh, absolutely. And not only just not understanding the responsibility, because I do understand the responsibility of the office. I also understand how important it is for the community that they have good representation and people that they can trust, someone that they can trust in that office, because they know me. I said the other day, I said, I'm your vacation Bible school teacher. I'm your speaker at Women's Day. I have been doing these wills and estate planning seminars for many, many years, over a decade, active in this community, just really to pay it forward and be there to fill any gaps that I see.
Let's see what this caller has to say here. Malcolm, go ahead, brother.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Man, I'm some kind of blessed. The Lord knows He's working wonders in my life.
What you got to ask Miss Mumford this evening?
Well, I want to thank her for offering herself for public service. That's a big, big job, to offer yourself. Because, a lot of times when you run, Judge, and I know you've been a victim of the dirty politics.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, you've been a real victim. And you'll find out in these races that a lot of times that people just put lies out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to thank her for offering herself and for being the bigger person, to being the good person, the good guy, it's the good candidate in the race. And no matter what the people are saying or what's going on, she continued to smile and continue to campaign. But this is what I called about, Judge. And I got to get straight to the point. I always have to get down to the nitty gritty.
Yes, sir.
What street is your law firm on?
Miss Mumford, or you mean me?
Right.
You're
I'm talking about you first, Judge. I'm talking about you first, Judge. Which street?
I'm on Northwest Street. Northwest. Anybody want to bring that water bill by 1010 Northwest Street?
All right. Now, Miss Mumford, what street is your law firm on?
I'm at 820 North Street. So I guess that's about 3
Now, let me say something, Judge.
Yeah.
Both of y'all law firms is in the heart of Jackson, in the hood.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You in the hood mean y'all where the black folks at. That's downtown North End. Am I right, Judge?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, brother.
Now, if you ask anybody else who name on the ballot where they law firm at, they out way out. There ain't none of our people out there. We have to elect people that's with the people. Do you hear me, Judge?
I hear you. I say it loud and clear.
We
You
have
say
to
that
elect
3 more
people that's
times.
not scared to go on West Street. That's not scared to go on North Street.
Yes,
That's not
sir.
scared to go on State Street and High Street.
Right.
We got to have people that's not afraid to go down to the state capitol and raise hell when they're wrong.
Right.
And Ms. Mumford, I believe, if she's not scared to go on North Street, she won't be scared to go on High Street and do the right thing. And that's why I'm supporting her, Judge. And I always supported you too, now, Judge.
You sure have, brother. I appreciate you too.
Yes, sir. Ever since I first met you back to John Brown, younger days, when I first met you, I've always been a solid. Now, I had to call in. I wanted to break that down now. You and her could have went anywhere in the world and opened up a law office, anywhere in the state.
Well,
Y'all could have went to the reservoir. You could have went to Flowood. Y'all chose to stay right down there where our people could get to y'all office. Thank you so much, Judge.
thank you for calling, brother. You have a comment you
Yes,
want to
sir.
make on that, Ms. Mumford?
Yeah, we've been there, 820 North Street. It's funny he said that because I have clients that have so much confidence and trust in me. Sometimes they just show up with their issue and it drives our reception. It's wild, but they know if someone shows up at that office and they need help, we help them, whether they have an appointment or not, whether it's going to throw my schedule off or not.
Mhm.
And I have, I like being that person for them to
Right.
where if they are in distress, then they let me find Kamisha. I know if we go see Kamisha or Gerald, they're going to help us.
Right.
And it, appointments are important, to some degree. But if you come to our office and it happens more times than not, they will just show up because they are in a crisis and they need someone to give
You
them
need
some
somebody
attention.
here. Right.
Mhm.
Exactly right. Go ahead, Carly, on there.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, Judge?
Good to hear you, brother. How you doing?
All right. Just real quick, Miss Mumford, I just want you to know this. I've been seeing your ass, seeing your signs. Real good job. I just want you to do 1 to 2 to 3 things. Stay humble, stay grounded, stay embraced with the community, and stay genuine. That's all we ask.
I
And
got
it
you.
sounds like you have that pretty much up to par, a lot of kind of what you've been doing, kind of like the judge. You the humble, genuine, and staying up to par. So I ain't gonna hold you long. I just want to let you know I appreciate it. Thank you. Can we get some real change in there? Let's just see what will happen. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. Just do your thing and keep it going and do something different than what everybody else has been doing. Anybody can talk. A lot of people can't walk.
There you go,
I
brother.
appreciate this Mumford, and we're gonna get the spotlight on you now.
Thank you for
Well,
your
thank
call,
you.
brother. Thank you.
One of my favorite scriptures is God rejects the proud, but he gives grace to the humble.
There you
And I
go.
say it every day.
Go ahead, Carly, you on there.
Yeah, how y'all doing this evening?
Okay, thanks for calling.
All right. I want to start out by reminding people that there are 2 judges on the radio tonight. It ain't just one. There's 2 judges on there tonight. So when they say judge, they probably need to be a little bit more specific. I believe Miss Mumford is Judge Mumford.
Yes, she is.
Her proper title, Judge
Yeah.
Mumford.
Right. That's on the money, brother.
That's right. But okay, what I want to say is I was listening to Ms. Mumford speak about her upbringing, and I heard her say that her mother worked for maybe the road department or something for the city of Canton.
Madison County.
And yes, ma'am. And that tells me that a little bit about your upbringing. Maybe it was a modest upbringing.
Mhm.
But as I look at your life, where you are right now, you are the model of success, not only in your professional life, but also in your personal life. Can you tell us a little bit how you came from that modest upbringing as a little girl to this outstanding success that you have been blessed with both in your professional and your private life?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for your call, Carl.
I was born to 2 of the most loving people on the planet, Sammy and Shirley Brown. They saw something in me even as a little girl, and always kind of fostered that love of the law in me. I had told the story about me deciding I was going to be an attorney when I was 5 years old for years. And I just came to realize when I became a mother that really wasn't my idea at 5. It was theirs. They just, they just made
Put it there,
yeah,
right?
they just
Yeah.
put it in my head. And
Yeah.
I have always been such a, I'm a rule follower. I always wanted to please my parents because they are such great parents. And I just stayed with it, from 5 until 25 when I became licensed to become an attorney. I
Right.
stuck with it. I went to college with one thing in mind, and I was getting to law school. So I did it in 3 years. I've always been a really hard worker, and I knew if I could get out of there in 3 years, I could save my parents some money. I had a scholarship for my courses, and so if they didn't have to help me live for 4, I'm paying it forward to them. With everything I did, I always thought about the sacrifices that they made for me and how I could find ways to lessen their load. And that's something I tell my children. I was just so grateful to my parents for everything that they were doing for me. I always wanted to work and help them help me. When I was in law school, I worked on Saturday mornings, my first year in law school, Saturday and Sunday mornings at a gas station. So I would take all my books, get there at about 4:30 a.m. And it was a country gas station in Canton. They sold minnows and worms on the outside for fishermen, and then I cut meat on the inside for folks that wanted to make sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
But that was a way for me to just show my parents, like, this is not me saying I want to do something and not work towards it. And so I'd get up, work there from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. every Saturday. I would study when it was slow. And then on Sundays, I'd work from 5 a.m. until 11 when church started, because our church was probably, 3 minutes from the store. But I always wanted to show them that I was putting in the work for the goal that they were working so hard to help me attain. And that's always been my spirit. Even with this campaign, I haven't relied on canvassers to knock on doors for me. I knocked on those doors myself. And I didn't count how many I knocked on because I wanted to knock on every door in Senate District 26 because I really wanted people to see me, know who I am as a person, and understand that I'm someone that's trustworthy and honest and in this for the right reasons. But that upbringing, my dad's a minister. And I think most people figure that out after talking to me for a few minutes. There's a scripture every once in a while. When my son Garrison first saw me in my judicial robe, the first thing he said was, "Mama, are you about to go preach?" And if you catch me at the right moment on any given Wednesday, there may or may not be a sermon.
Maybe a sermon.
But that's just, it's in me. You know, the love of Christ is in me, the love of community is in me, and those are all things that I got from my parents. You know, I tell people all the time, they didn't have a lot of money, but everything that they had, they poured into making me a success. I have a younger brother who's born on my 12th birthday. He's also an attorney. My parents saw that in him as well. He ran away from it initially, started out saying he was going to be a pharmacist. And now he's a very successful attorney. Because those are, I mean, that's just the parents that we were blessed with. And so that upbringing is what makes me work so hard. It's also what gives me such a commitment to the community. My mom was the person in our church, in our community, that was always looking out for someone else, always finding ways to help others. And so I just grew up watching her constantly serve people. And she would tell us all the time, always be the giver, never the taker.
Now, I can recall when I first met you at a judges conference, you know, you was always that person to me that, you know, you gave that air that you were approachable and ready to be friendly, you know. And some people just have that. Some people have that, but hearing you speak tonight and hearing the calls coming in, yeah, that's what people are looking for. They're not looking for a politician.
Right.
They're looking for someone that really has the heart of the people in their heart.
Yeah, I'm just a community member. You know, I don't care if you call me commissioner. You don't have to call me Judge Mumford unless I'm on the bench. You know, but, you know, like, you know, I'm just your community member. I want the same things that you want, and I want you to have the best quality of life that you can have as a member of this community. And that's why I'm running for this position, and that's why I work so hard even in my law practice for clients.
All right. Go ahead, Carly, on there.
Hey, how you doing? Just wanted to say, Kamisha Mumford, I'm proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
I look forward to you being our next senator.
Appreciate
Just
that.
wanted to ask, where do you get your drive from? I see you out canvassing. I see your commercials, and just wanted to ask, where are you getting this energy and this drive from to campaign the way you've been campaigning?
All right. Well, you know, to whom much is given, much is required. That fuels me every day. This campaign, though, has really been powered by this community. The love and the support that I've received from members of our community. If I'm out canvassing, I undoubtedly am going to have someone come ask me, do I need a bottle of water or even an entire meal? You know, I've had folks come feed me as I'm knocking on doors and just really supporting me, the candidate, supporting my family. Even Garrison, my 12-year-old, has been out canvassing with us many times, and folks are even just trying to take care of him. That love from the community and the support, it just fuels me. And so I do it with so much joy, you know, and it's exhausting. I said, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And I'm licensed to practice law in Louisiana. That's one of the hardest bars there is. But that wasn't as hard as this politicking is. But,
that was what I wanted to ask. Is there anything that you have to sacrifice to do this?
oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Thank you for your call.
I'll answer that. You know, it's a sacrifice of time. It's a sacrifice of resources. Gerald and I put up a lot of our own personal money for this campaign because we wanted to send a message that we aren't going to be controlled by any special interest. This is the community seat. You know, service is sacrifice. And so I said, listen, I'm going to start this off and fund this ourselves because this is an act of service. I need to show this community how dedicated I am to this seat so they can know they don't have to worry about how I'm going to vote because I don't owe anybody anything. I owe the community good decision making for them. But there's not anybody that's going to be able to push my battery pack because I am running for the community, for the people of Senate District 26. And that was really, really important to me. And that's something that I tell my children. I said, you know, service is sacrifice. It's not about how much the job pays or you having this big title or fancy office. This is truly about service to community. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I can canvass with so much joy. I may, at the end of this process, take a picture of all of my gym shoes. They are worn completely out. That's the only thing I have on my Christmas list is a pair of gym shoes because I've worn them out. But I have done it with so much joy in my heart. And so this really has been one of the greatest experiences of my life, is going out to serve our community in this manner, knocking on doors and asking for those votes, and then being received with so much warmth from community members.
But when you're coming down to the end of the show, but I have to say this, that you said you were coming and you did. I always say that when a person say they're gonna do something, and you know, I wait to see how they're gonna do it. And so that's a good indication right there. But before you leave, is there anything you want to just put out here to the people about you and your campaign?
Well, you know, like I said before, this really, I'm honored to be in the position to serve in this manner. I have such a unique set of skills and talents the Lord has blessed me with. I want to use those to serve my community in an even greater capacity than I've done over the last 18 years. And I really want to encourage everyone in Senate District 26, from Edwards to Bolton, Tennant, Cynthia, Pocahontas, Brownsville, North Jackson, South Ridgeland, and the north part of Madison, to come out on December 2nd and vote for Kamisha Mumford for Senate District 26, and vote for me because I'm someone you can trust to do the right thing.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here. David, I'm gonna let you tell us again about this water issue. I'll give you a few minutes and we can kind of close out.
Thank you. It's been such a great show to hear the young lady speak and the judge speak and the mama speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw her daughter over there agreeing with her when she said that she worn out those tennis shoes. Younger daughter here, she couldn't be. How old is your daughter? She looked like
She's
about
8.
8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and she know that you have worn out those tennis shoes.
She's probably worn out a pair too herself. She's been out canvassing.
Hey, listen, Judge, it's been a great night. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody and
Yes.
everybody that is out there.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. This is so important to be grateful.
Indeed, and
As
y'all,
well, happy Thanksgiving.
yeah, we want you to be safe. We want you to wake up tomorrow and over the weekend. We don't need to do anything crazy. We need to show that love once again in that spirit. Those of you that are in control of those households, we want you to be in control. When your young folks are doing things that they don't supposed to do, you need to make mention of it in a respectful way, whether they're your child or your niece, nephew, or even if you get into it with your spouse. Just try to do the best that you can. With that, I say, Judge, everybody that have a problem with their water bills, I'm going to give out my number tonight. They can call me. And next week, we had agreed with WMPR. We're going to find a drop-off location.
All right.
And perhaps we
As
can
I said,
even
my
have your
office,
space.
1010 Northwest Street.
No.
1010 Northwest
Give them that. Give them that again, Judge. So
Street.
that,
1010 Northwest Street is right. Most of us know where MJ Tires is, so I guess I'm
Yeah.
right up the street from MJ Tires. Right there, in the hood, as they say.
and we'll be talking more about it. But the biggest deal of it all is that the process is that the governor is the only one that can forgive these bills in the state of Mississippi, forgive these water bills. And we're going directly to the governor. It is time for our governor to do something for the citizens that our governor represent, and that is the citizens of Jackson, Mississippi, as well as the United States government in Washington, D.C. We are going to get it done. The people deserve it.
They do. And with that, you know, we come to the end of our program. Standing for the people, I appreciate you
Thank you
coming,
for
Ms.
having
Mumford,
me.
and wishing you all the success. I mean, you certainly have the energy for it.
Yes,
So
sir.
you take it up there. I know we should get something done. Thank you again for coming, David.
Yes, indeed.
And we'll be signing out. Take it out, ladies three.
Good night. Thanks, y'all. Now I gotta go warm those pots up.
Yeah.
Don't put me in. I was trying to give you a way out, Gerald.